Welcome. Thank you for joining us for our live podcast today. We are the Family Restoration Center of Missouri. We're located in Cedar County, Stockton, Missouri, actually. Today we have Cheryl Thornton. Cheryl Thornton is are you the director?
You know, I get called a lot of things, and I think director could be a fitting word, yes.
Okay. So today on our podcast, we're going to go over, we get asked all the time, I don't say we, I say we, but really Cheryl gets asked all the time, what is it that the Family Restoration Center, what do you guys do there? So we're going to answer that question.
Yeah, and that is a question that we get asked, a lot. And I suppose that there are some things that we do all of the time that we are known for.
Okay.
Like Good Dads.
Oh,
we've been doing Good Dads.
That's such a great program.
Right. And we've been doing that since the get-go.
Okay, so let's start from the very beginning. Let's just break it down. So when did Family Restoration Center open in Stockton?
Okay, I'm going to go back a little further to get the story in. We had a group of people that loved to pray. And we would gather and pray for our community, pray for the city, pray for Missouri, and pray for the nation, actually.
Yeah.
It was a prayer group focused on community a lot. And so we began to get a lot of people in that prayer group.
Yeah.
And some people thought it was looking like it was going to be a church. And we just, didn't really feel that that's the direction it was going.
So you knew from the get that it was not going to be a church.
Right. So in 2018 is when that prayer group started, and we was actually at the gathering place for a while in town.
Yeah.
And downstairs in our family room, and then at a church here in town for a while. And then eventually right after COVID came in and hit us, and we did telephone just calling conference prayer for a while. But in 2021, we were allowed to come into this building on the north end.
I do remember that.
And so we were very grateful that Agape let us use that. And then things started changing a little bit because we had space and room. Kind of seemed like maybe we ought to do some things.
Yeah.
So it evolved, I guess you could say. Wasn't a church, still wasn't a church, but we did some activities. Some people probably remember that when they were having the haunted hospital on the north end of the building, we had a harvest time on the south end of the building.
Yeah, I do remember that. I actually went to, you guys would give out hot dogs.
Right.
And, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hot dogs, popcorn.
Yeah.
Had a good time. Yeah, it was great. So I guess I like the way that Maggie says it sometimes. Maggie says we do a lot of assignments.
Yeah.
We feel that the Lord will have us to do certain things. It doesn't mean it's going to be repeated. Even it doesn't mean it's going to be longevity, always a thing. Difference between us and a church a lot is a church has these set things that they do usually, and you can go to the newspaper and you can see, basically what's
very scheduled, very organized.
And we're kind of the opposite. We have that, and then they'll put something in the paper when it's something extra. And we're kind of the opposite. We do a lot of extra things, but don't have a lot of organized things. Yeah. We do from time to time. Sunday night we have a worship that just people who don't have a church they're going to on Sunday night can drop by and take part in that.
Yeah.
But we do a lot of assignments that we feel like the Lord just gives us assignments to do, and I believe that we're free to do that because we don't, which is a good thing. Not everybody's free to do that. Not everybody's just free to change what they do.
You're exactly right.
There's pretty much of a system set in most places. But we are based on faith, with its faith foundation. And we always like to include, that in whatever we do in some way. We are community minded. For instance, we do things that just to help the community sometimes. Well, that was what the harvest time was, basically.
You guys, do a lot for the community. And I think that a lot, I think now it's getting out and about, the word's getting out. Social media is picking up. You have a constant contact where we're able to send out emails.
Yeah,
and
that's helping a lot.
Yeah, it is. So getting the word out there. Mm-hmm. And letting people know what's taking place at Family Restoration Center, because you're able to bring in, for listeners or viewers, our Cheryl Thornton here of Cedar County, her and Ken, they're the matriarchs, I like to say. I know you guys are pretty humbling and you don't like that, but y'all know a lot of big people. And you're able to bring a lot into Cedar County.
Well, I kind of look at it like we're the mom and the pop, we're the older ones, and we do wear that badge quite a bit. We've got, thank goodness, we've got some younger people to do a lot of this work, and this building's a blessing.
It really is.
We were the first ones in the building on the north end when we started having events and meeting on the north end. And then, since then, Begin Again Ministry started on the north end, and we were on the south end, and then some things happened, and we got moved to the middle, which is great.
I think the middle is the best part.
Our vision got expanded quite a bit when we were able to move to the middle of the building.
Yeah. But, so there's a thrift store, and then there's a...
David's Mighty Men is on that south end of the building too, the thrift store, and David's Mighty Men.
Okay, so the thrift store is not called David's Mighty Men.
No, the David's Mighty Men is actually a group of men.
That's right. Okay, thank you. Yes, and is it the welding students?
They rent some space.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
they do.
And then on the north side of the building, there's
Begin Again Ministries, and there is Megan's Place.
Yes.
And Megan's Place is specifically, and we need to have Adina McGinnis come and talk about this, but basically that's to help some ladies, women who are trying to get their life straightened out and are coming off of substances, and they've got the props, here that they can help them to work through that. So that's Megan's Place. Begin Again Ministries also has a hand up program, and they have women living in the building who are
and it's beautiful back there
to transition into life. So we're right in the middle, and one of the things that we do, back to what do we do? One of the things that we do is we try to work with both of them to do some things that might be needed, like do some groups with some of the women, and David's Mighty Men come use this facility for Good Dads, which they're doing great in Good Dads.
Yes.
They're expanding and getting phone calls. When can we get into Good Dads? And so it's really a blessing when you walk through the building and you see those men around the table. It's just really working. So we try to help them, both of the ends, both of the ministries on the ends. We try to, what can we do? What can we do to help you? So that's kind of a shifting and changing thing too, because they don't always need the same thing. But we do Good Dads, like I said, that is expanded into El Dorado Springs, Missouri. We've got Good Dads of Cedar County, and Good Dads of Cedar County is growing.
Really, Cedar County, Good Dads of El Dorado Springs, which I know we call it Cedar County, but El Dorado Springs has taken off.
They have.
They are just doing amazing things over there.
They are doing Good Dads in schools, which is amazing.
Yes.
They bring the dads in once a month, and they have some games and activities with the kids, and the dads are there, and they make a big deal out of the dads being there and make the kids feel really happy.
Which they need to.
Right, exactly. And then soon, both El Dorado and Stockton are going to start a Fundamentals of Fatherhood. And that's going to be, Good Dads is more for the dad that might be a little bit more high risk, and maybe they've had some substance abuse issues, or life happens in all different kinds of ways where you might end up being high risk.
Sure.
So they're training in 2.0, we call it 2.0, the Pathways program deals with things pertaining to that. And it helps them to get reestablished with their children and be a father. But the Fundamentals of Fatherhood is for any man in the area that would want to just learn more about how to father. Sometimes dads end up being a single dad.
Yeah.
And if you're a single dad, you really are lost sometimes for what to do, and you need some support. You might love your kids a lot, but
it's a hard
by the
task.
time you work
Yeah.
and make a living, and on the weekends you like to know maybe have somebody help you, guide you into some things that you could do, and even prepare some things for you to do. So Fundamentals of Fatherhood is going to start here and in El Dorado. We'll have all the programs. I'm not sure if we'll be able to get, we need to talk to the school again here about getting Good Dads in, but we will have all the programs in Cedar County somewhere.
And when does this take place? When will the fundamentals?
We haven't set a date yet,
Okay.
But we have men in training for these
Nice.
things. So.
And how are the courts taking notice of this?
Well, that's one of the things that we kind of struggle with, is getting the people for that 2.0 program.
Okay.
I think the Fundamentals of Fatherhood will be a little easier to get men in, but we kind of depend on referrals for the 2.0, the ones for high-risk fathers. And we have had drug court to refer some people. One of the things is, like, I know when they referred someone, we didn't have an active group at that time.
Yeah.
And so hopefully with David's Mighty Men program, we can have one group starting right after another. And that will eliminate that.
Yes.
No one's going to have to sit and wait for a group
Yeah.
to start. So we hope that the courts would really recognize it. And
Yeah, I know they are in Springfield. Dr. Baker talks about this
yes.
and how, they really advocate for their dads who are in the program, and they will go to court for them, write letters of recommendations to the judges. So I agree with you. Our judges here in Cedar County need to get with this program.
Right, and start sending people our way.
Yes.
The Fundamentals of Fatherhood, like I said, anybody can come to.
Yes.
And it'll probably be easy to get people for that. But Good Dads, we do need some referrals.
And the statistics about a father in a home, which Ryan Dasso, who's part of Good Dads, he can say a lot of them. But the statistics, they're pretty amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
What a dad's presence in the home can do.
Yes, and so I'm part of the board in Cedar County with Good Dads, and I started really getting into reading the statistics that's on the website that Dr. Baker and all of them have placed on there, and just some of them. And when you really get on there and look, it's mind-boggling.
And the state's taking note of that.
They really are.
What's happening is we have a Good Dad's child support person, especially for Good Dads. And so when a Good Dad comes in and he's supposed to be paying child support, and if they've just gotten out of rehab or incarceration, it's hard to get a job, it's hard to get things started. What we do is we help that person and connect them with that child support person for Good Dads, and if they can do $5, that's going to work. And then we have to continue to encourage them, continue to help them, try to help them get work.
Yes.
We have to not just let them stay at $5 or $10.
Yes.
But,
I mean, you're really training them how
Right.
to be a good dad.
Right.
And how
right.
to be present
Mhm.
in their child's life.
You bet.
And how to, this isn't just something that they can enter in and just be a part of a one-time class. They have to be a part of these classes.
15 weeks.
Yes.
And then there's another course that you take that's
Yeah.
another 9 weeks. Yeah.
Absolutely. And most of the time, I remember the course that you and I went to, the training class, these men don't even want to leave after 15 weeks.
Right.
They're established. They want to be a part of it because they're almost scared to walk away because, some of these men, yes, they're getting out of, prison or whatever the situation is. There's so many variables.
Exactly.
But some of them are just fighting maybe the mother of their child, just not wanting them to see.
Well, and there's good reasons for that sometimes.
There are very good reasons.
These men learn how not to burn bridges.
Yes. And some of the stories. But, that's for the court to decide.
Right.
But they, with that being said, this program is helping them establish a relationship with their children. And
with their baby moms.
Yes.
Sometimes there's more than one.
Yes.
So, that is really a big part of what some of them have to, that's probably one of the hardest things they have to learn is if you want to see your children, you've got to stay in some kind of a communication that is not going to make somebody
toxic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's there's the Good Dads goes over all of that.
Yes.
So Good Dads is like probably one of our, and it's state funded, so the state is behind it.
That's amazing.
So it's one of the programs that we continue to really focus on because it's worth so much in our community to see these people change and see families put back together, at least dads with their children. Not often do they reunite with moms. Some of them are still with the mom though. I mean, so that helps their marriage.
But the biggest thing is they're reuniting with their children.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that is what we want.
Exactly.
So if you know of anybody, I guess the message here would be just that. If you know of somebody who is struggling to be a good dad or that they want to get there.
And like you said, it could be any kind of a circumstance. They don't have to just be coming out of substance abuse treatment, or they don't have to just be coming out of a jail situation, incarceration. They might have had something else that really made it hard and separated them from their children.
Yeah.
And so we want them to. We do.
And it is so hard for them. A completely different circumstance, but my son's in the thick of it right now. We just delivered his son to him.
Uh-huh.
And, his son, while they FaceTime and everything for the last 2 years, his son don't really know him that well.
Uh-huh. Right.
And there's a little bit of behavioral issues. And he got his son lives with him full time. And he called me the other day and he says, he hates me. I said, no, he don't hate you, he don't know you. He acts just like you. So, it's very hard.
It is.
For
it's
fathers.
Hard, and they need support.
They need support big time.
They
so,
do.
Yeah. So, okay, so back on track. Cedar County Good Dads. When was that established in Cedar County?
I believe that it was established shortly after we moved into this building, so 21, probably 21, maybe even heading into 22. 3 years or so.
Okay.
3 years or more, yeah. And it takes a while to build it. It's a new program, and
Yes.
it just takes a while to build something. So
All right, so one program that Family Restoration Center offers is Cedar County Good Dads.
Exactly. It's
And-
one of our staples.
Yes.
Staples, not staples. We don't put anybody in a stable.
Shh. We'll save that for another podcast. Okay, so what's another program?
Well, we have computers that we like to encourage people to get their high school diploma.
Oh, very nice.
We've got one about to graduate now.
Nice.
And we've got them all set up, in the library, and they've got the headphones and the cameras, because when they're doing
It has
that
to be
online,
proctored.
yeah, when they're doing online, they have to.
I had no clue. I'm here at the Family Restoration Center, once a week? Listen, I'm here all the time.
Thank goodness, we're glad she's here a lot.
Cheryl is very dear to me, but I had no clue that took place here.
Yeah, we had possibility of 3 computers. 2 computers are set up right now, ready to go. So we are helping some from the Begin Again ministry. Some of the ladies within the Hand Up program. One of them is going to have me call. We usually go through job.
So is this like the high set or?
Yeah, a high set. Uh-huh.
Okay,
Yeah.
and so everything has to be proctored.
Well, they have online teaching. There's somebody teaching online. If they take a test, when they start taking their tests, we have to get them to Nevada to do that.
Nice. So is this government funded as well?
Well, Job Corps I believe it's a program that's government funded, because they can even go on to a trade school or something afterwards, if they want to.
Which I'm all about trade schools.
They'll find
Yeah.
out where they fit in and can help them in trade schools.
This is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know all about the background of Job Corps, but it is, I know, connected with a lot of opportunities, and so that's who usually we will call to help them get into a class.
Okay. So, and when did this program start here?
We had the opportunity to do it for quite some time, but this young man will probably be our first graduate.
Very nice. So, when somebody does this, can they go at their own pace, or is there a timeline that they need to get everything done?
I'd say a little bit of both. They have some opportunities to pace if school is rather hard for them. They've got more time they've got classes that they can take, remedial, and so they would like to get it completed. They, you know how it is. They don't want to rush people, but they don't want to discourage them.
Sure.
So they kind of try to balance that out. And
Nice.
They do well.
Yeah, that's great. And so is it a Monday through Friday program?
No, it's you can do your work on the computer anytime that you want to. Now, when there's certain things where they're connecting with you, there's a time schedule that you go by.
Nice. And so I have to ask this question because this will come up, it will. But does this mean that other people can come and take proctored exams for whatever reason, whether it be, I'm a realtor, so a real estate exam or whatever?
We have the computer set up, so we could use it for other things as well. I think that depends on whether that particular school would allow you to do it. It's not something that we...
You would have to have a tester in there, I would think.
Right.
Okay.
Unless they had some kind of a
plan.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. So that's really cool.
So yeah, working with them. Now we are launching a new program that I'm excited about.
Oh, tell me more.
We are going to do a grand family program.
Ooh, she's been talking about this.
Yeah,
This is so exciting. So tell everybody what this is.
Well, there are a lot of grandparents raising their grandchildren.
Yes.
And I just happened to sit down by one at the Christmas program, and I have been in that position myself, so I can identify with it. But I spoke with her, and we were able to help with Christmas. The Family Restoration Center was able to help with Christmas at their home. And I just thought, this is really a need in our community. If we can help these grandparents. So what we're going to do, this is where we're going to start. We kind of wade into things here and then get the plan as we go along.
Yes.
But we're going to have on April the 5th, that's a Saturday, we're going to invite them to dinner, and we're going to have the children come as well, and they can get to know, maybe families could get to know each other. That would be a good thing. So we might have some things, for them to do together.
So you're developing a community.
Right, exactly. And we'll have games and crafts. I'm looking for lots of volunteers for this. If anybody would like to volunteer, because I want people to be at that table to help with the children, to help with the craft or whatever. I don't want them to come and feel like they have to learn a new game to play, or we want them to enjoy the meal. So we'll start that on April the 5th. It's a Saturday night, and I think we're gonna.
Did we put 6 in there?
Put 6. I don't know. We better check on that time.
Let's establish it.
Yeah. We're gonna have information out on it.
Yeah.
We've got some things ready to put out on Constant Contact and Facebook. Yeah. So we will probably have that evening. We'll probably have some questionnaires on the table, like what is it that you need?
Yeah.
What is it that you need help with?
There's always needs. I mean, let me tell you, you know this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just said that you've done this.
Mm-hmm.
You raised, was it 3?
I had 3 in my home for a while, yes.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and to go backwards.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is rough.
Mm-hmm. It is. A lot of grandparents are still working. I mean, so it can be a time issue. It can be a financial issue.
Yeah.
It can be a space issue.
Yep.
There's just a lot of times I know when I had mine, I converted a family room into their bedroom,
Mm-hmm.
Because it was just, we just didn't have the space, weren't
Sure.
expecting it. So that we need to know what they need.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to ask some of the businesses, like services, like salons and places that could offer a haircut or whatever. I'm probably going to try to gather some gift certificates up for that night, and just be a blessing to them in that way. We'll also have some entertainment. I believe that Mr. A.
Oh,
Ron,
he's amazing. He's our commissioner in Cedar County.
Yes.
He is what Southern?
Southern.
Northern.
Northern.
He'd be the Northern commissioner.
Yeah. And he, El Dorado knows he's very talented. I don't know
He's
if Stockton
amazing.
knows
Yeah.
as much, but El Dorado knows he's very talented. He is going to come with some entertainment.
Oh yeah,
It
he'll
could
be amazing.
Magic or music or something.
Yeah.
So we'll have that evening, and that's our launching point. And from that, we might then determine how often we want to do that. We'd love to see a grandparents' night out.
Yeah.
So maybe their children, they could have something to do, and I don't know, what do grandparents do? Go to Aldi's or something?
Yeah.
That's what I go.
That's what this grandparents do. That's what this grandma does. I'm a very boring person.
Yeah. Somebody said they probably just want to go home and take a nap. Whatever.
Well, and there's all sorts of reasons. I think that there's always a place for somebody to judge on the reason why. Maybe you could be raising somebody could be raising a grandchild, but again, different variables. We don't know the situation.
We don't, and that's not our part to find
That's
out.
not why we're doing this. We're just, you're doing it just out of love.
For whatever reason.
And building a community and letting them know that they have support.
Right, exactly.
And I love that. And
so another, this is a big deal to me, is to reach out to them. And then I believe we will have several volunteers, to
Yes.
help. I think a lot of people are buying into that.
I think so.
Another thing, and I'm a psychologist, I'm licensed in the state of Missouri, and I don't practice like I used to.
I
used to work in
You
agencies.
sure help me every day. Awesome.
I don't work in an agency and
Yeah.
see one client after another, but I do help people. I do, for the girls here, I do skills groups,
Yeah.
do things that I don't do individual, let's just put it that way. I like groups, I can help more people at once.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I want to do, and I haven't really, I can't say I've launched that even on paper yet, is family recovery.
Oh, nice.
Because a lot of families and grandparents might be a part of that, but if we could have a family recovery for people that are in the facility here that are waiting to complete a 3-month program or whatever, if we can help the family understand what that's like and how they can be supportive. So that's something that is in the future.
Okay.
That we want to do.
So when you say in the future, you thinking in the next year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just have to find the right program. I don't like to reinvent the wheel. And
Yeah.
so I know there's programs out there. Just find
And
the right one.
one thing that I've learned about you is you never jump the gun on anything. You always think everything out.
I'm pretty paced.
Yeah.
That's just safer to me. you
Yeah.
know. So yeah, that's one that I'm kind of pacing out right now and getting the right thing going for it. There's other things that we do.
Well, you and Ken are getting ready to launch the class.
Yes, we are.
You did the marijuana class.
I do the marijuana class. Let's talk about that for just a minute.
Okay.
Because I want parents to know.
Okay.
I've done that from referral for adolescents. I don't do marijuana programs for adults, but I do marijuana, I call it Marijuana 101 for adolescents. And sometimes I've done it for adolescents who have been found in school and they can't return until they get a certificate. So
Which happens quite frequently.
right, and Johnny's Ambassadors were the program that I use, and what we try to do is we try to help that young person understand what they're doing to their brain. Did you know that using marijuana, it's a lot stronger than it used to be? It's not your, I always say it's not your grandpa's marijuana. We had people come back from Vietnam and they had their papers and their
The wacky tobacco.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, this stuff is absolutely strong. It's
You're talking about the stuff now.
yes,
Okay.
yes, and it can make kids psychotic. It
Okay.
can make them if they're predisposed to it, it could throw them into schizophrenia.
Oh.
It is like almost 100% pure THC, and they extract it from the plant and then they vape it, and so we're trying to keep kids off of marijuana. That it's not, it's not something to just ignore.
So how would parents or did the school system, do they get a hold of you? How do parents know that this program exists and how would they get a hold of you?
Well, I believe the school said they could either go to El Dorado, and there might be a class over there where that I did it. And then the juvenile office has sent kids before too.
Okay. So this program's been going on for a few years as well.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I don't have as many as I'd like to have. I'd like to see more of those kids. I'd like to have some kids come, and they're welcome to, because it's not therapy. It's not, when the kids come, it's not like I'm asking them to divulge information that how they got in trouble.
It's
or
just
why
a
they got
learning
in
course.
trouble. It is a course. I mean,
Yeah.
it teaches them, and their IQ can drop 8 points if they are using marijuana on a regular basis, and 8 points would be like an A would be a C, and a C would be an F.
Oh.
If you dropped 8
Wow.
points. So that's what I always used to look for when I had a teenager as a client, and they were all of a sudden bombing out at school. Well, let's check and see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because if a kid is having problems with their grades and they never had before, something has usually caused that. So this is really important. I don't know if everybody knows the differences in the marijuana that kids get a hold of. And let's not forget that they can't buy it yet. You know, they can't buy marijuana until they're 21. I believe they can get a card at 18. But let's not forget that when you get something, and I don't care who it is off the street, you don't know what you're getting. And it could be laced with fentanyl.
That is very true.
And so we're facing a lot of different things
Yes.
in the substance abuse arena with our children.
Well, and that's a podcast that I would just like to do.
We'll have to do a whole thing on
Yes.
that. Yes. So that is another thing we do. We do like one-off things, like I said, like we just had Matt Hammock come
Oh, that was so fun.
and talk about family,
Well, he put on a whole show for
Yeah,
us.
he did. It was wonderful.
Matt Hammett was amazing.
We had a full house.
We had an entire, and you know what? We hung out with him. Of course, you know this. You were,
Yeah.
Cheryl knows him. But we hung out with him the entire day, and then, we had a full house, and we were so worried. When you have somebody that big come in, you always wonder, like, who's going to show up, because you can't gauge it on social media.
We don't charge. Everything's free.
But, you send out, I'm the one sending out these constant contacts, and I'm marketing and I'm targeting these people. And so the thing with, and I'm just going to tell you all a little trick here. I'm looking into the camera. But we can see who opens up the emails and who doesn't. And we can see who clicks and goes to YouTube. And we can see all of this stuff. And we can see how long you're staying into all of it. And we're really nervous over here. And if you have a Facebook page like we do, we can see every little bit, like the analytics. So we could see all of it. And we're like, I remember that day we were just kind of talking like, who is anybody going to show up?
Oh, listen, everybody decided to come right on time, and so we except one lady who you could tell she knew him, and she was really ready to hear, and she ran to the front row because she wanted to get a good seat, and then she just sat there on the front row until time to start, and boy, they just came in the door. We had so many children.
It was fun. We had a packed house. We had a packed house, and it was so much fun. And so Matt Hammett, if you didn't come, you missed out. It was a blast.
It was.
And Matt, he's been touring with Kirk Cameron.
Yes.
And
that's why we wanted him, because he's family oriented. He's doing the worship for Kirk.
Kirk.
Yeah.
And he's offered to even give stuff to you to help with fathers, different, it's amazing. And then that night we went back over to your house, just a group of us, and hung out for a few hours, and it was.
I think the highlight of entertaining people that night with Matt was showing that Newsboys video from 1991.
Oh my gosh! So we went back to Cheryl's house, and Cheryl says, for one, Cheryl's just her and Ken. They can put on a good, they're great hosts. And so she comes bringing down just these great big, and I'm like starving, right? Because we've been here all day. I got to fix these real quick. Are yours feeling good?
Mine
So you're fine. You're fine. So Cheryl comes bringing down these great big huge platters, and I'm like, and I remember Matt's like, I'm starving. I'm like, me too. And so all of us, there was like, 6 of us?
Probably.
And we just all gathered around the TV, and she puts on a CD, a movie from like back in the 90s.
Yes, 91.
91 of the New Boys when they came here.
Newsboys. The Newsboys came to Stockton, Missouri, and that might be a surprise to some people. But
And Matt knew all of them.
Oh yeah, and what was cool about it though, we could have never had the newsboys. You all know what the newsboys are nowadays. I mean, if you track with Christian music entertainment, I mean they've got a stage full of everything. But they were new. They were just in the United States from Australia.
Oh yeah, and you can hear it. You can hear it in their voices and everything.
So they came through in 1991 and did a show, and so we're going to actually digitize that, and we're going to put it on our YouTube channel.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do not follow us on our socials, do so. If you do not follow our YouTube channel, do so. It's the Family Restoration Center of Missouri. It's that simple. I think this will be our third YouTube channel. Or, I'm sorry, our third video on YouTube.
We're still practicing if you can't tell.
No, we're professionals.
Oh, okay. All right.
right? We're professionals. No, but we just have a lot of fun. And that night was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. I mean, we stayed up till 12 or 1 just really carrying away into the night, and
this is a good segue. This is a good segue into talking about what Kenneth and I are going to do on Friday nights at 6 o'clock.
Deconstruction.
What
did I put on Facebook?
I don't know.
But that, nobody interacts with us until there's a mistake.
Do you mean
destruction? I put destruction.
The deconstruction of Christianity. And this is something that we were able to actually talk with Matt Hammond about in the afternoon.
Yes.
And he knows Alyssa Childress, who's going to be on video. We're using some videos with people helping us teach this, because believe me, this is something that we all need to know about, and we all know as Christians we've watched people veer away and shift.
And he talked about that. You guys talked about it.
Right. And we watched them shift from the very core principles of Christianity into whatever they wanted to believe.
Some not even believing at all now.
Yeah, but some of them believe, oh yeah, there's a God, but all he wants me to do is love people or whatever,
manipulating the Bible or the Word to fit the lifestyle that you needed.
That they choose.
Yeah.
And so we're concerned, and we've watched that in our society, and we've wondered, well, why is this happening? Why are people just all over the place with Christianity and believing things that aren't from the Bible? They're just adding what they want. And you hear parents even talk about, I don't know what happened to my kids. They moved away and went to college or did this or that, and they don't think like I taught them. Like I took them to church. They don't think that way anymore. So we're going to find out in that series. It's a 6-week series. Okay. There's almost too much to talk about here, but
we have all night, Cheryl. I'm good.
Well, you might get hungry after a while.
She knows I like to eat.
Right. You just said you like to eat. So we're gonna break that down.
Do you offer the material?
We can, people, if they can, or they can order it off of Amazon if you want to, but if you can't, if that's not a possibility for you to order it off of Amazon, we will help you get it.
And what is it that they need to look into?
It is, well, there's 3 different things. They don't need the videos unless they want to watch them again.
Okay.
But there's a book, a larger book, and then there's the little book for the class.
And so we will place that on social medias, and we'll send out newsletters.
Yes.
So if you want to be part of our newsletters, please let us know. We would love to add you onto them. That's how to be in the know of everything that goes here. Because while we do put things out on Facebook, the newsletters we have more in-depth things on them.
And we have a Facebook page, right?
Yes, which
It's
is
not a group, page. And so they can write us on that Facebook page. They can send us a message with their information. Like, you have to have their email.
yeah. So if you want to be part of the newsletter, you have to provide an email. Like our constant contact will not even let us send out a newsletter without your email in it. Which,
right?
Yeah,
it's good to have all of it in case we send out a mailer.
In case we sell all your information.
We would not do that.
Let's make sure you are aware we're not selling anything.
No. We might send them something through mail.
Yeah, we have talked about that, sending stuff, through the mail.
Mm-hmm.
Which brings me to our next topic. We are trying to get a grief
group.
Yes, in Stockton.
I just talked to her today and told her that we try to help her, with gas because she lives in El Dorado. And I believe that she is going to try to start one here. She's already got one going in El Dorado.
Okay.
And so we're going to try to get one started here. That she really has a heart for this.
Absolutely. And this is something that nobody should have to mourn alone. It doesn't matter what it is or who you've lost. Reach out, be with the community of somebody. So, and I have been blasting that. We have been blasting that on social media. We place her name and number all over.
Mm-hmm.
And she's really passionate. Like Cheryl said, she's really passionate about this group. So make sure you reach out to her.
And then something that I'll just throw in here too is that we try to keep a Bible study going.
Mm-hmm.
Right now it is the Bait of Satan.
Yeah.
Say a little bit about that. You went to the first one today.
Yeah, so I went to the first one today. Maggie Dasso, she actually, she is running it, and it was really good. So it's a 6-week course, and it's talking about offense and how not to be offended and how to understand offense. And you can go on to our YouTube channel. We did talk about this last week with Maggie. Maggie's a teacher. She's a natural born teacher.
Yes.
And she just kind of explains, you listen to the podcast,
Yes.
She kind of explains how she just was really taking offense to everything.
Right.
And how she realized it was her who was taking offense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, today we were in there talking about it, and I don't have to really take a risk of my husband watching this, but this morning, he comes in, and I was in there, and bless his heart, he just comes into the bathroom and just starts blowing his nose all over, snuffleupagus, and it's like, he was just blowing his nose, but I was just like so offended,
He
and
invaded your space.
I know, he invaded my space, and he just looked at me, he's like, what? And I'm like, do you have to be so loud? He's like, I'm snotty, but, and then Maggie was talking about how she was taking offense to everything her husband was doing, but it's not just spouses.
No.
We really can take offense to every single thing
Probably one of the hot spots for taking offense is the church.
Church. You're exactly right. Yep.
So we have, and that's the bait of Satan.
That's the bait of Satan. So this just brings us down off of our pedestal and reminds us, but here's the thing. Sometimes we hold our significant other or whomever, the people closest to us, up on this such high pedestal that, we disconnect from them. I think you understand that.
Sure.
And so what we're doing is just kind of, we're grounding ourselves in this group.
Yeah. And then what the plan is to kind of have one going consistently.
Spring and fall.
Well, for her, she's going to do that. Then in between time, I'm going to do a study on Deborah. out of Judges in the Bible.
Oh.
She was an amazing woman leader. And so that I'll be preparing to do that after she's through with this.
I did not know you were doing that.
Yeah, I'd love to teach Deborah.
Wow. So we're just going to have tons of Bible studies going on.
Mm-hmm.
So are you going to keep it on Friday?
I probably should, since women get used to coming on Friday at 1 o'clock.
Are we going to keep it for just women?
You know, I'm not sure. Usually that ones in the daytime, that's who can come.
Yeah, I don't know very many, and this is just for me because I don't go to men's Bible studies, but not very many men. Do men just show up for Bible studies?
I'm not sure I don't know if she has or not. Now, the one that we're going to do, which is, it'll have Bible in it, it's not a Bible study necessarily, but the one that Kenneth and I are going to do on the destruction, or the deconstruction.
What is it called?
Deconstruction of Christianity. We want men to come to that. Men,
But that would be more of a couple,
and
correct?
Well, they can, but it's in an evening. So, that's going to...
Will that be once a week?
Over.
Yeah, 6 weeks. She said 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm. So we have these 6-week courses, and we've got a lady with us, Deborah Howe.
Oh, she's amazing.
That's
when you said the book of Deborah. That's immediately
what you thought of.
Yeah.
No, Deborah out of Judges. Deborah is going to be teaching a course on the Constitution, and I believe the God components of how our nation started.
Oh, I would love that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
There's so much going on in our country right now. I know I shouldn't get off this subject, but
a lot of changes. Yeah. But people need to know where they stand.
So when will this class take place?
She has not chosen a time yet. I think it's a 10-week course.
Wow. Hopefully she makes it after tax season.
Yeah, right. Because you're going to be busy until
Yes.
tax season. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a lot going on, and I really appreciate you coming, and we couldn't do these podcasts if it wasn't for you. Thank you.
Yeah, I love it. It's fun.
We want to keep what we're doing before people. And we're going to do some things and go into a little bit more depth in some of the things like the deconstruction of Christianity. We might have another podcast before that, just to help people understand a little bit more about it.
Yeah, so our vision here, I know Cheryl and I, we spoke beforehand, and we just want raw and unique. It's okay if we have a blooper. I mean, it is what it is.
Exactly, yeah.
If you come here and she's teaching a course and she coughs or messes up her words or whatever, you're going to see that live anyways, right?
Right,
So
and I could do that. I could mess up some words. I've done that today.
I do that all the time. So
I'm going to put people in stables.
No, but you see what I'm saying? Like, we just want raw, rural, unique, raw, rural. See? Raw and real. But that's our vision for this, and that's what we want, and we're really excited for everybody to join us and really get to know what the Family Restoration Center is about.
Yeah.
And we're grateful for everybody who joins us and comes out and really is a part of this. And Cheryl, can people rent out the Family Restoration Center?
We had so many things going. That was a plan before we got here.
Okay.
But we are very community minded. If somebody in the community needed to do that, like we had the Republican women
Yes.
host a candidate
Meet and greet.
Which included both Democrats and Republicans. It was both coming. Nonpartisan, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They used it for that. We like to help the community. We aren't so prone to rent it out for
birthday parties or
Yes,
whatever.
yes. Yeah, but more community oriented things.
Okay. Well, we covered a lot of bases here.
We did.
And we have so much going on in 2025. And we have a big year. I mean, this is only March.
Right. I'm sure there'll be more things to come.
Yeah. And really, like I said, subscribe because you do not want to miss what's coming next.
Exactly.
So, all right. Thank you.